Hello and welcome back to my channel, Tied for Initiative. Today's event or video is going to be entitled What I Did for My Summer Vacation. My son just went back to school yesterday, so now I have the free time to make videos. This summer, we took the time off from recording videos and doing normal stuff to take in a couple of conventions. The first was the 17th Annual North Texas RPG Convention. For those of you who like conventions, this is a real winner. It's in a Westin hotel at the airport in Dallas-Fort Worth. You get about a half an hour ride from the airport to the hotel, and you're there. Even the front desk people were in on the deal. You went up there, and there was a spin the wheel and win something. Basically, you're going to get a pair of dice. So we started off by winning something. Checked into our hotel, and that night I ran some D&D. It turned out pretty well. I really enjoyed meeting some new people. This is mostly an OSR con, so it was nice to meet a lot of like-minded people and people who really know how to play the game. I didn't really have to teach anybody any concepts. There was a little bit of, we don't want to rob those tombs sort of mentality, but my son put people in their place really quickly, telling them it's free loot for us to find. Thursday morning, I was able to get up and move around. I had tried to make this video earlier, and I'm glad I have a chance to re-record it because something I wanted to mention, the special guest to participant ratio is about 30-1. So unlike bigger conventions where they have all the guests locked away playing with the convention runner, you got to rub elbows with Jeff D., Darlene. We played with a game designer who puts out modules from Dark Wizard. We played with Chris Holmes, the son of the guy who did the basic blue book with the dragon on the cover, 1977 D&D. We played some old school stuff, some new school stuff. We played a DCC Western where we played basically a funnel. We were zero level townfolk who were responding to some strange creatures. So we went out into the desert and explored around, caught up with some bandits, some undead, and it was a generally really good time. Chris Holmes ran a pulp system that he made up the day before, apparently, and it was pretty fun. It was not very fleshed out system, so we was kind of winging things a little bit. Plus, we had a table full of people who wanted to play some pulp gaming, but didn't have any idea what pulp was. So I was the one at the table who really knew who these characters were and what they should and could do. But still, it was a pretty fun game. We got to play the likes of the Shadow, the Avenger, Doc Savage, and other characters like that. This con featured, for food trucks. They're parked in the parking lot outside. And they also had runners, barmaids basically, who would take your order and then within like 10, 15 minutes come back with your food. So there's really never any reason to leave the table. Their game slots were around 4 hours, so you didn't really want to get up and leave for more than like a 5-minute bio break, as they call them these days, or to go to the bathroom or to run to your room really quickly. The hotel was basic, really nice but basic. They had food and places to sleep, and a few ballrooms for us to set up our convention in. When I got up Thursday morning, my son was sleeping in, so I was able to get to the dealer room, which I say is the best dealer room I've ever been in, because I was there to find OSR products, and they had a lot of good old-fashioned modules, Dragon magazines, and things like that. I don't go to convention rooms to buy costumes or steampunk stuff, or frilly little things like that, or stuffed animals. I'm there to get things for my gaming collection, things that I'm going to use. So we were able to find some old modules and such, which are now sitting on my shelf waiting for a chance to run. Like I said, I met some people. I met Jeff D., rubbed elbows briefly with Darlene, saw some YouTubers. I didn't really engage with them. It seemed like a lot of people, they weren't locked away behind a door or anything playing with the convention runners, but they did have their own cliques. Now, I heard afterwards that I should have just approached people like Jeff Talanian, who does Hyperborea, but I was feeling a little under the weather. It turns out that I have Arkansas allergies, which are very, very powerful. I didn't realize how bad it was here until I got here. My son got it first, and then I started getting sick. So now that I'm on allergy medicine, I can't wait to go back next June to North Texas RPG convention. Anybody who likes conventions, and especially if you don't like to be choked into rooms with thousands of people like at KublaCon or GaryCon or even more at Gen Con, this is a good place. And it's in the hotel where the convention's at, which is a pet peeve of mine. Don't put your convention away from the place people are staying. Next this summer, we went to OzarkCon. We were going to go to VentureCon, but money and time did not prevail. So we decided to catch a ride to OzarkCon, which was in Gassville, Arkansas. It was in a rendezvous center in Gassville, which was a one-room setup, 5 tables or so, no air conditioning, a little kitchen, and a little entryway. Like I said, 50 people. It started off with a sort of a Friday night open gaming trivia / it was supposed to be a movie night, but they never showed the movie. So we played the trivia, which was really fun, and we played in a war game, World War II war game. I can't remember the name of it, but it was pretty fun. And I had a chance to run Pulp Adventure and a couple of D&D adventures throughout the weekend, and we played an AD&D, a super high-level AD&D adventure, which was okay. And we played some Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, which was also okay. All in all, I will go back next year, because they're going to move it to the Mountain Home Fairgrounds, which has plenty of room and air conditioning and is located closer to real hotels. The one we stayed in, the Brass Door Hotel, was poorly reviewed, turned out to be okay. It was sufficient, but not a good place to just hang out. And we had a lot of time to hang out between convention events. So I would have preferred a place with a better setup, better TV, maybe a pool, hot tub, that kind of thing. So we had some reason to hang out at the hotel. But OzarkCon has potential. It's coming into its 6th year next year. And I do believe that they are getting bigger and trying to find a way to make people more comfortable. So I look forward to giving that another try next year. Also this summer, I was able to put my Old School Essentials campaign to rest. The characters had reached about 5th through 7th level, and they had a showdown between the forces of good and the forces of evil. The forces of good being the normal demi-human races that were in Celestria, the town that they built. And they had a showdown in the mountain pass called Orktooth Pass with the humanoid forces, which were attempting to overrun and get a foothold in the lands of good. We set up a big war game table, and they faced off with all these horrible creatures and won. The only thing that really, really challenged them was a mage who was locked in a war wagon. So he could shoot magic missiles out and spells and such, but they couldn't shoot in. But still, our heroes prevailed. At the tail end of the summer, I started my Necropolis 92 Pulp Adventure campaign back up again, and that's what we are doing right now. School has started. My son is back at school, which means I have time to make videos. Well, that's going to be all for right now. We'll see you next time, next video.